Hello everyone, welcome back to our video. We are at the new Armadale bus interchange, only 2 weeks from the station opening, and when I post this probably 1 week. So exciting. I can't believe it's already now. But today we've got a few more little things to do with the buses. I did make that video which practically covered every single change of the normal routes, but there's just a few more things, one of which is the fact that the counter peak once like a day in each direction 249 service, which was actually introduced after the 249 route was introduced, that then continues as a 731 school special to Byford, and it goes from Hilbert. I don't know what's gonna happen with it in terms of around the Hilbert area, because a lot of the roads are closed. It's apparently supposed to not go on the road I wanted to go on, but I don't know. It's a bit weird because that's not actually the road that's closed, so I don't understand why it's saying that it's closed. Hopefully it goes the right way. But yeah, we'll head on down and take that 731, and then also a few other things towards the end of the video with the changes in Cockburn Central and Albin Grove as well, which is just bus contractor changes. Anyway, let's find the 731. there goes the 731. Withdrawn school special. That was the second last ever inbound service or out there, to the school. And there's an Artic 244. Doesn't say via Southwestern Highway. Actually, I don't know if it normally does, but actually I can probably get on this. Okay, so there we are at the 254 terminus. That is the Artic on the very weird service, which actually starts on Southwestern Highway and does a whole loop around on the loop section, which will now actually become a loop with the new 254, and then just terminates the normal terminus, which won't be seen anymore. And it's an Artic as well, which is crazy. I don't understand why. It goes literally right behind the 731 school service we were just on, which takes the exact same route. But now this 731, there's so much to tell about this, right? So first of all, I missed it at Armadale Station, and no, not the bus's fault. The 529 was actually scheduled to come at the same time it leaves, but I checked yesterday's and it came like 7 minutes early, and I thought, oh, it might be fine, but nope. But anyway, I just sprinted to the stop like after the level crossing or old level crossing, since it has to loop by the shops, and then I managed to catch it, which was so lucky. I could have like 2 seconds, otherwise I'd be so mad right now. But then another thing that made me mad was that apparently there was a deviation on the 731 for the last 2 weeks, or no, for the last week and a bit already, supposed to last until the end of its service tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day it'll ever run, Friday the 26th of September. Today's Thursday, I just won't really have a chance tomorrow, but whatever. So, yeah, it was so early to get down here. I had to wake up at 5:30. So the deviation was like supposed to take it onto Masters Road, which is where the future 246 and 9 extensions will go anyway. So it would have been useless to go on it. But then the depot coordinator radioed the guy about the deviation. And I'll keep telling you the story in a moment. I just want to show you these stops, since I actually looked over them in the original big changes video. And these are actually the main stops in Byford, also being removed. 13105 right here. These serve the 251, 2 and 3. Now, the 252 and 253 will be replaced by 259 and 262, both starting in Byford Station, and they will be coming out from that traffic light, which means these main stops, the most main town center Byford bus stops, are actually going to be withdrawn. And these are actually some of the closest stops as well. So it's that one right there, and then that one on the other side right there. And yeah, these are literally so close. It's crazy. Look. Well, we'll walk to this one. See, there's another one right after the traffic light. But anyway, what I was saying is the depot coordinator called him up about deviation. He's like, you know about deviation, right? You have to go left, right, left, right. Like, he said like 10 instructions. I was like, how is he going to remember this? He's like, yeah, definitely. And then he actually had to come into Hilbert from the wrong direction because the top was road closed. But he was still supposed to serve the stop at the northern side of Hilbert, but he didn't. So he went straight to the terminus, or the starting stop, and then he left, not stopping there. And there was actually 2 students waiting for the bus there, which he didn't pick them up. And then he left, and then he went straight down Hopkinson Road instead of on the deviation, which is good because that's the whole reason I went on that bus, because I wanted to film Hopkinson Road, since that section will be permanently withdrawn, never see a bus there anymore. And if the driver tomorrow follows the deviation, that actually was the very last service on Hopkinson Road. But yeah, so that's good that he went there. But then like 10 minutes later, the depot manager calls him again. He's like, did you follow deviation, sir? He said, yes, I did. And he's like, there are students stranded in Hilbert. I'm like, well, there you go. I literally saw them, but I didn't say anything. And now they're stranded. And now they sent a private bus, NIS, all the way to Hilbert again, to run a second 731 service just to pick up those 2 students, because I didn't say anything and because the driver went the wrong way. How is there always so much action whenever I try and go film something? It's so ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, this stop here, 13106, this is such a random one as well, going to be removed. Oh, damn, he's actually there. I mean, yeah, because And that's the next 254 already. The next 254 just came, which is so dumb. On top of this Southwestern Highway service, being an Artic, which is useless, and being right behind the 731, it's actually also right in front of a normal 254, which just terminated now. So that's just ridiculous. So there's that one. We also have that stop on the other side. I really find it weird that these main central stops are being removed, but somehow it is. And I didn't even realize that when I filmed the original changes video. Although, whatever, I've already filmed the bus come through here. When I originally went on the 253 to Armadale, I boarded here actually. So that's this stop with the shelter as well being removed. And the one right behind me. Behind the traffic lights. So they're so close to each other, some of the closest stops. So yeah, that was actually the first time I ever went from Armadale Station to Byford, like without going down Southwestern Highway. We went through Hilbert and down the back, which felt so weird. But I'll be doing this again in only 2 weeks' time in the 246 and 9 extensions. But this time actually down Masters Road. Now I gotta be careful because there's a 252 coming, which will take me straight back to Armadale right now. And you know the frequencies of the buses here. If I miss that 252, I'm waiting like more than an hour, which is terrible. And actually there was a 252 like 5 minutes ago as well. It's so stupid how many services there are in the morning for school, and then all of a sudden they're all gone and no buses for ages. Then in 2 weeks we'll have a train all the time, which is just over there. The station's already finished now. Yeah, I'm kind of scared the 252 is already on its way. So here's this other stop. See it there? That's going to be removed. I actually saw they're putting up some big poles around the school, the big stands instead of just the little poles, and they actually put a little sticker on one of them, which was so strange. I took a photo of that. But anyway, that's all the chaos of the 731, driver not knowing what's going on. Me almost missing it. Luckily still going on Hopkinson Road. And finally terminating the school. And also, literally no one tagged on at all. 0 people tagged on. So that is the reality of the students in Byford. Now, there's actually one more little change, which is there is a 254 extension trip down to Court Grammar School, which is actually quite a way out of Byford. And it actually goes on the western side of the train tracks instead of the eastern side down Southwestern Highway and past the 251 terminus, like every other route does. Now, there are actually a lot of stops in that section on the western side of the train tracks, and now with the changes, they will all be removed. All the stops will be gone. There's like 6-7 stops just removed on both sides of the road. And that service will only be run by the 255 circular service with the most ridiculous looking route, which will run express from Court Grammar School straight up there, past all those withdrawn stops, not stopping though, loop to Byford Station, come into the Byford Station, and then do the whole loop around West Byford and back to Byford Station. So it'll go to Byford Station twice. So I can show you that on the map, how funny that looks. So that's the other one as well. But unfortunately that one's somehow like so early. It's at like 7 a.m. So obviously I couldn't go. And really it's still going to take that route. It's just the stops being removed. So I don't know. We might see those stops when I come back after the opening, if they're still there. But really this is the last time I'm ever going to be in Byford without the train station being operational. So feeling pretty weird about that. I'm just going to board at this stop now, which is going to be withdrawn on the 252. The future 251 is just going to come out of here on George Street, right next to the very nice dome there, and go straight up Southwestern Highway to Armadale as normal. But yeah, it's really weird that it's taking this tiny little street here and then actually going past the new level crossing that they built right after the station. Anyway, that was like 10 minutes of me talking about that, but I just had to experience the school situation down here in Byford, and it's so funny to think that right now there's a private bus shuttling those two students, which I saw were gonna get left behind, but I didn't want to say anything because I did want the driver to go on Hopkinson Road, so that's good. But yeah, they're getting a private service now. Anyway, I've said that like 5 times. there's one more other thing I need to film completely unrelated to this area, which is actually the routes at Auburn Grove and Cockburn Central 527, 537 and 523. They are all being swapped from Contractor of Transdev back to Swan. Yes, so before the shutdown, all these three routes, which are on the eastern side of the freeway, were the Swan Contractor. Then they went to Transdev when Swan had to deal with all the train replacement, which they still do, and now they're gonna go back to being Swan routes. So we might have a few clips of some Transdev buses on them for the last time, but that'll not be filmed today. Yeah, so it's 9 o'clock now, and I actually need to get to uni all the way back up in like an hour, which is probably impossible, so I'm gonna be late. But it was worth it for that. Glad the driver went that way. All right, I'll just film the 252 coming in. See ya. And literally 10 seconds after I stopped talking, it's right there. Gas bus, obviously. It's stopping and serving the other stop that's gonna be removed. Right there. So glad I get to film this as well, since I missed it in the original video. And it's gonna come pick me up right here, so close. Alright, we're just here at Cockburn Central Station now. With the changes, the 523, 527 and 537 from Auburn Grove actually will no longer be Transdev routes and swap to Swan Transit, running by mostly gas buses again probably. Those routes are on the eastern side of the freeway, so I'm just going to show you a few clips of the Transdev Optimus buses, Fremantle Depot on them for one last time before it's changed. And over at Auburn Grove for the 537. I guess. Probably also means last 2 weeks of seeing the Optimus buses mainly on them. Because right now it's literally like almost 100% Transdev here, except 529 of course, and yeah, 518 and stuff. But that means that it's like all Optimus ever since Fremantle Depot just got Optimus buses, and now the gas buses will be back on Swan Transit services. So there goes 3247 on the 527, and got another NIS bus coming in. Alright, we're here outside Auburn Grove Station. Just taking a quick look at the 537 down to Wandy as well. Nice Optimus bus, and it's no longer going to be seen that often very soon, because it is becoming Swan as well. And that is a Transdev bus right now. Which runs every 10 minutes in peak as well, which is crazy. So frequent. Here it comes. 3248. It's so weird that the Fremantle Depot buses are here. Going down Leon Road, and there's the other direction coming up. Literally at the same time. There's a nice lake here actually. Alright, stopping over there. $35.30 Transdev. All right, off it goes. Anyway, that's been with Transdev for almost 2 years. So we're just gonna end this video here. We've basically seen all the little additional things we need to see with that school special service and the extra Byford trips and stuff. The only thing I didn't see is those extra stops on the 254 that I was saying just before, which are now all going to be removed. So might try to go on that school service on the day, mate. Well, no, because I want to take the 269 extensions. So I don't know, but those stops will probably still be there for a while. I doubt they'd remove them all. Like, oh, actually, they do have these whole holidays, school holidays to do it. So I don't know. But they're gone. Unfortunately, we didn't get to have a look at them or even ever go past them in service. But there's still buses which go there. It's just express now, so that's why. Yeah. Oh well. Enjoy the opening. Bye.